welcome to a new edition of our news program here on Canal Algérie. Let us first take a look at your top stories for today. In a message to the participants in the 17th session of the Parliamentary Union of the OIC member states conferences, the President of the Republic reiterates Algeria's commitment to the Arab Initiative regarding the Palestinians' legitimate rights. Youth focus groups workshops are held in France to better integrate the Algerian youth abroad in the edification process of Algeria. The immediate fallout of facilitating visa granting is visibly felt in Janet province, flocked by foreign tourists. Good evening and welcome back. First, and under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the proceedings of the 17th Conference of the Parliamentary Union of the OIC member states kicked off on Sunday, with a particular attention paid to the President's message. Melissa Kebash with the details.
The 17th session of the Parliamentary Union of the OIC Member States Conference witnessed the participation of 35 parliaments of Muslim countries and was held under the motto, "The Islamic World and the Challenges of Modernization and Development." On this occasion, a message of the President of the Republic was read out by the President of the National People's Assembly. The President affirmed that Algeria aspires to work with Muslim countries so as to relaunch the spirit of action for the glory of our religion and nations, adding that this Congress comes in a particular regional and international context marked with conflict and crisis, namely that of energy and food, alongside other dangers such as terrorism and intellectual breaches that targets our societies.
إنكم تلتقون اليوم أنتم حاملو تطلعات شعوبنا الإسلامية.
You are all gathered here bearing the people's aspirations in a regional and international context marked with complicated conflicts and numerous crises, notably related to energy and food, alongside others as terrorism and intellectual breaches that aim at dismantling our societies. You have chosen a great motto for this session, the Islamic world and the challenges of modernization and development, which imposed a reality that requires cooperation between our peoples so as to find solutions and promote discussions far from any forms of extremism and intolerance.
في البحث عن الأساليب الكفيلة بإيجاد الحلول الملائمة وتغليب لغة الحوار بعيداً عن كل أشكال التعصب والتطرف.
During his speech, the President of the Council of Nations, Salah Koujil, highlighted that this important meeting, held for the first time in Algeria, land of martyrs, comes in a highly sensitive environment, recalling that Algeria endured the ravages of colonialism for 132 years and snatched its independence thanks to combined forces. And this is what Algeria wishes for the Palestinian people.
الوحدة هو سبب النجاح.
Unity is the way to succeed, and with this meeting held here in Algeria, with the presence of all the Palestinian factions, initiated by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to gather the Palestinian brothers here in Algeria, who signed Algeria's declaration to build unity, so that the Palestinians could win their struggle just like Algeria did, knowing that the meeting was held a few days before the meeting of the Arab League in Algeria, during which we took into consideration the importance of the Palestinian cause.
الجامعة العربية تبنت هذا التصريح. الجزائر وخذينا بعين الاعتبار في هذا اللقاء العربي أهمية القضية الفلسطينية.
It should be noted that this important event hosted by Algeria is to deal with several files related to the challenges encountered by the Islamic world.
On the sidelines of the 17th session of the Parliamentary Union of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Member States, the President of the Council of the Nations, Salah Koujil, received the President of the Jordanian Parliament, Ahmed bin Mohammed bin Ali Al-Safadi. The President of the Council of the Nation, Salah Boujil, equally received the President of the Shura Council of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. To the International Conference Center here in Algiers, where the President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, received his Turkish counterpart, President of the Turkish National Assembly, Mustafa Şentop. Boughali also received the President of the National Council of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Sahiba Gavarova. And the Assembly's President received as well the President of the Shura Council of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. And the President of the National Council of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, Adama Bictogo, was also received by Brahim Boughali. Brahim Boughali also received the Vice President of the Qatari Shura Council, Hamada Hassan As-Sulaiti. In a different context, and after inspecting the Insaleh gas project in Hasimoumen, the Energy Minister reviewed several ongoing projects in the energy sector. Mohamed Arqab listened to presentations regarding the state of the electricity and gas connection network in the province. The minister also inspected two construction projects of an electrical station of 160 megawatts in El Berka and another one of 60 megawatts due to start very soon. In another activity, the Minister of Industry, Mohammad Zaghdar, received on Sunday here in Algiers the Russian Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, Vasily Osmakov. The meeting was an opportunity to review ways and means to further developing cooperation and industrial partnership between Algeria and Russia. And as part of the revitalization process of the national economy and the transport sector, a national railway program was set up with the aim of linking the majority of the country's ports to the southern provinces. Najah Tayyar tells us more.
Given a new impetus to the commercial economy dynamic and above all to mobility of the national scale is the objective of all these railway projects. These projects are intended to link the east and the west of Algeria over more than 2,000 kilometers, also the country's north and the south over more than 1,900 kilometers. Thanks to the National Railway Plan, Algeria aims to give this means of transport a continental scope by linking in the long term the main ports of the country to the provinces of the Great South. There is no project that covers below 120 kilometers for a total of 2,300 kilometers. Rail transport brings many benefits to the regions it crosses. So many achievements in the field thanks to the experience of Algerian engineers. It is in this factory that the rails necessary for the achievement of rail transport projects in the country are made. This factory is unique in Algeria and the first at the continental level. Here we are welding several rails 18 kilometers each. All this work is to ensure good quality and optimal security to the trains that move on these new lines. Currently, Algeria has 4,200 kilometers long railway network. A number should exceed 12,500 kilometers by 2030, in the wake of the construction sites for new lines and modernization of existing lines throughout the national territory.
In other news, Youth Focus Groups is an event organized by the Higher Council of Youth in the national territory and abroad as well. In the consulate of Bobigny in France, several workshops gathered youngsters from all around the world to discuss the ways and means for a better integration in the edification of our country, as we will discover now in this report compiled by our correspondent in France, Afaf Belhouchat, taken up by Ines Gilou.
It was in a very studious atmosphere that the first youth-focused social group workshop started on Saturday at the Algerian consulate in Bobigny, in parallel with the meeting of local youth under the slogan of Challenge Aspiration, organized throughout the country by the Higher Council of Youth.
This meeting is part of the state's policy, the policy initiated by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. I wish all success for this meeting. The purpose of the focus group is to discuss with young people, to exchange with them, but above all, to have their opinion on issues that are central to the Higher Council for Youth. The objective of this council is to be able to meet us and find and exchange information.
A call for involving the participants in the second day was launched by Mustafa Hidawi, President of the Higher Council of Youth, a second meeting held at the Grand Mosque of Paris with the same purpose and as much involvement of participants in winter profile with a common point of socio-professional path.
We're
trying to reconnect our country with the Algerian diaspora. Simply, the first thing to do is to make it easier for us to go to Algeria. The Algerian diaspora is like a consultation body in which Algeria or the Algerian government will draw from the company to obtain the necessary and the required skills for the development of various fields in Algeria.
The holding of this workshop in France aims to strengthen the links of the diaspora with the homeland and associate it as a force of influence and proposal in accordance with the commitments of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune.
In another topic, the Algerian Red Crescent sent a shipment of 180 tons worth of foodstuffs by sea route to Cuba. It is worth recalling that this aid is part of Algeria's solidarity with the brotherly countries with which we share deeply rooted historic relations. Moving on to the international news, 144 new attacks in one night were carried out by settlers in the occupied West Bank. The Palestinian authorities indicated that these Zionist attacks were carried out on Saturday night, and during which the settlers destroyed a total of 120 vehicles in Nablus by throwing rocks at them, and they also burned down 6 vehicles in the city of Mejdal Beni Fadl and also attacked 22 shops in Hawara. And in Morocco, a dozen of contractual teachers were condemned to prison terms, bringing the total number of detained teachers to 55. Their sole mistake is taking part in protests demanding a reform of their professional status. Story by Ines Kilo.
The Mahzen regime continues to attack contractual teachers who are fighting to integrate themselves into public service and improve their social and professional conditions. Dozens of Moroccans' non-permanent teachers were recently sentenced to prison terms for participating in peaceful demonstrations calling for reform of their professional status. This was reported by local media, which determined that the Rabat Court of Appeal had sentenced 10 teachers to a 1-year reprieved prison term for participating in demonstrations initiated by their union. Their only fault, they demanded a reform of their professional status, a crisis that has shaken the state education sector in Morocco since 2019. The professors were found guilty of obstructing the movement of careers, insulting and assaulting a public official and an authorized assembly. This verdict is in addition to the convictions of a total of 55 Moroccan teachers now. The National Coordination Authority for Contract Teachers described arbitrary decisions and organized a rally in front of the Rabat Court of Appeal to condemn all forms of harassment that teachers decided to go to after their lawsuits were exposed. According to this union, which denounces the instrumentalization of justice by the Mahzen, this trial is only another episode in a series of fictive trials targeting this category of teachers who are simply demanding their legitimate rights. The coordinations protested against the regime's silence, calling for extending the contract system and the integration of all teachers into the public service. Since 2016, Morocco has hired tens of thousands of teachers on fixed-term contracts. Immersed in a precarious situation, these contract teachers have launched a strike movement for over 4 years, accompanied by demonstrations marked by sometimes violent police repression, illustrating the disastrous human rights situation in Morocco. The wave of protest is now affecting all sectors of this country, which are facing a multidimensional crisis.
A trip now to the south of our beautiful Algeria, more precisely Janet. This province welcomes its first tourists benefiting from the visa facilitation measures, a huge time saver that will undoubtedly encourage foreign tourists to flock to this enchanting region. Story by Najah Diyar.
Janet, the very first province on the national level to benefit from the flexible visa granting procedures. The jewel of the Tassili Niger is undoubtedly the ideal destination to breathe new life into the Saharan tourism. The first impression gathered from the first foreign tourists who benefited from these facilities confirmed it.
So
many people in France come to visit the region very often, and with this measure of issuing visa upon arrival, it has become more simple and encouraging. I wanted to visit Janet since a long while, and when I heard about this news, we decided to come immediately. This region is beautiful. It is necessary to visit it. Janet is amazing and its inhabitants are very kind and welcoming. All the means were mobilized by the services of Janet Airport, the Borders Police, the Tourism Department of the province, as well as other services for the optimal benefit from these facilitations. Instructions have been given to the concerned services for a better care of tourists. It is the first in Algeria to provide visa to foreign tourists at the level of the airport upon their arrival. These measures are very welcomed. It was a wish and a request made by Janet inhabitants and by operators of the tourism sector to facilitate the procedures. It is a significant time saver. It will even encourage more the Saharan tourism. Foreigners from 35 different countries and 17,000 local tourists visited the capital of the Tassili Niger in 2022, according to data provided by the Tourism and Crafts Department.
And with that, we come to the end of our today's program here on Canal Algérie. Thank you for joining us, and as always, take care and see you next time.